Okay, so we are doing our finding slope, finding x-intercept, finding y-intercept. None of that is new. Okay, we've already calculated slope from ordered pairs and from graphs. We've already found our x and y-intercepts. Okay, today we are going to do that, but then we are going to interpret what those values mean. So now we're going to be given real-world situations. Okay, we're going to talk about what those values represent. Somebody want to read the first question for me, the first problem? Thank you, Ben.
The graph models the linear relationship between the number of monthly payments made on a loan and the remaining balance in dollars left to pay on the loan.
Very good. Okay, so looking at my graph, you have to be super careful. Slope is whatever what? Rise over run. If I just count my rises, what's my y's counting by? 5,000. So it wouldn't be like 1, 2, 3. It would be 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. But notice, is that at a good point? Like, is that at the intersection? Do I know that's clearly 10,000? No. Do I know that this ordered pair is at like 20,000 or 25,000? No. So it'd be a bad idea on this graph to do rise over run. Okay? However, it gives you two ordered pairs. How else do we know to calculate slope from two ordered pairs? Our slope formula, okay, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, our slope formula. Remember, to not make mistakes, you want to make sure you label your ordered pairs. So I'm going to label 10 x1, which means the 22,500 is y1. The x2 is 35, and the y2 is 11,250. So then I'm going to use my formula, which again, let's write our formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, that is your slope formula. Now let's substitute our values in. M equals, what do I have labeled y2? 11,250. Minus, what do I have labeled y1? 22,500. Very good. Over, what do I have labeled x2? 35. Minus, what do I have labeled x1? 10. Okay. So, what is 11,250 minus 22,500? We have calculators. What's 11,250 minus 22,500? Negative 11,250 over, what is it? 25. Very good. Okay, what does that simplify to? What is it? Negative 450. That is your slope. So M equals negative 450. Okay, so when we are interpreting slopes, whatever what? Rise over run. Well, what is my rise axis labeled? The remaining balance, dollars. Okay? So, whenever you are interpreting your slope, you're going to say y per, what's the x labeled? Monthly payments, number of monthly payments. So, are my values increasing or decreasing? Decreasing because it's negative. So I'm going to say the remaining balance decreases by how much? Am I going to say negative 450? What does decreases mean? So do I need to put decreases and then negative 450? That's like having double negatives. Okay, decreases by $450 per month. Because that's what your x is labeled. Again, when we are interpreting slope, it's y-axis per x-axis. Remaining balance per month. Remaining balance per month. Okay, are we okay with that? It's always y per x. How do I know it's y per x? Slope is y over x. Okay. What does the ordered pair 10, which is your x, 22,500, what does that mean? Well, x is labeled what? So after 10 months, what's the y labeled? So the balances, I know we didn't give you a ton of room here, guys. 22,500. Does that make sense? Use the x label to label your x value of your ordered pair. Use the y label to label the y value of your ordered pair. Good? Okay, now we're going to look at our x-intercept. Okay? Where does this hit the x-axis? And let's write it as an ordered pair. 60, 0. That is your x-intercept. It hits the x-axis at 60, 0. Same thing we did when we interpreted the meaning of this ordered pair. Let's now interpret the meaning of this ordered pair. The 60 is your x, the y is 0. So, after 60, what's the x labeled? Months. So after 60 months, the balance is what? $0. That's what the y is. Y is 0. Y's axis is labeled remaining balance. So at 60 months, the remaining balance is gone. Okay. Now let's look at our y-intercept. Where does this hit the y-axis? It's kind of hard to tell. On your test and when you're interpreting, it would be clearly labeled. So this is 0, 27,000. It's in between 25 and 30. It's 27,000. Okay. Your y-intercept's your B, right? What does B stand for? Where you begin. So we begin with a balance of, so the beginning balance is $27,000. Now, we don't actually have 0 written in that explanation, but when we begin, how many months have passed? 0. Beginning means no time has passed, right? So this word implies that 0x value, 0 months. Okay? We okay with that? I will tell you, I think there's 2 of these you have on your test, but they're both multiple choice. Okay? So don't stress so much about making sure you write it perfectly. Stress more about just understanding what we're doing, okay? Because you're going to have answer choices. Eliminate wrong answer choices, okay? We good with that first one? We're going to do one more. Okay, who wants to read the second one for me? Thank you, Bailey. Linear. Very good. So we are comparing the gallons of paint with the amount of area you can paint. Okay? So let's find our slope. This one looks different. We don't have dots already on it with ordered pairs. So we need to find good points. Do we think that's a good point? Does that have a whole number for x and a whole number for y? Yeah, it's 0, 0, right? I wouldn't want to use this dot because if I follow that down, is that a whole number for x? No, that would be a half. So let's go, is that a good point? Yes. Okay, so let's calculate our rise over run. Again, be careful of what your axes are counting by. We're not counting by ones. We're counting by 200, then 400. So my rise is 400. Then my run is 1 to the right or left? To the right, so a positive 1. So my n is 400 over 1, which is just what? 400. So m is 400. Okay, so let's talk about what that means. Remember, y per x. What's my y labeled? Area painted. So 400 square feet painted per, the denominator's 1, so 1 gallon of paint per, and you can just say per gallon of paint. The y value per the x value, y over x. Use the y-axis to help you identify the 400. Use the x-axis to help you identify the 1. We okay with that? Okay, let's now find the meaning of the ordered pair 2, 800. So x is 2, y is 800. Well, x is labeled what? Gallons of paint. So 2 gallons can paint what? 800 square feet. Okay, what's the x-intercept? What's the x-intercept, guys? Where's it hit the x-axis? 0, 0. Hits at the origin. What does that mean then? Zero gallons of paint paints 0 square feet. 0 gallons paints 0 square feet. Good? Okay, next, what's the y-intercept? Also 0, 0. Guys, anytime that you hit the origin, the x and the y-intercept are the same. Because look, to be an x-intercept, the y is 0. To be a y-intercept, the x is 0. If it's 0, 0, that's happening at the x and the y-intercept because that's where your x and y axes meet. Okay, that's the point that's on both axes. So again, what does the ordered pair 0, 0 mean? We already wrote it once. 0 gallons of paint paints 0 square feet. So, on the back of our notes, let's write a little help, okay? So our slope is y per x. Your y-intercept is your beginning value. And the x-intercept is when y is 0.